Morning, Steve Free in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Overnight trade was interesting in that you've got beans, corn, and wheat higher, you've got the dollar higher, and you've got a lot of kind of things cooking underneath the marketplace. I think the big news overnight is that it seems like there's more money coming into some of the inflation markets. The Japanese yen, people are moving out of it. It's lower. People are going to the dollar, and we're also noting that there was some talk of Saudi Arabia that they may not increase production. They never said they were going to increase oil production, but there's still the conversations going on that they may freeze production. So crude's a little bit lower. Over in the grains, I think you're seeing in South America some issues. The beans and meal continue to push higher. The Brazilian real is higher. There's a lot of political issues in Brazil. There was talk yesterday during the trading session that Brazil is going to lose more than 10% of their corn crop due to dryness. Now, right now, it's like in Brazil, June in the United States. So they have plenty of time for the crop to improve. But as we get further down the road, if they don't get rains, you could start seeing the crop drop. There's also talk that the Brazilian soybean crop is a little bit smaller. On top of that, in Argentina, the rains could be lowering the crops there, and the soybean crop could be down as much as 5%. So South America is not performing as good as expected. Now, bean prices are at levels in which you would think the carryout's smaller than the 445 that the number put out by the USDA yesterday. So there's some things going on here that are outside the norm as far as U.S. soybean, corn, and wheat supply and demands are concerned. After the dust settles from the USDA reports, private estimates of the corn carryout is now between 1868 and 1960. USDA is 1862. Beans 436 to 475. USDA is 445. And the wheat 985 to a billion bushels, and the government's at 976. In the May report, they'll throw out their first estimates for 16 and 17. Ranges of guess for the corn is anywhere from 2.4 to 2.7 billion bushels. Government's around 2 billion. Beans 421 to 565, a big range there, depending upon yield and demand. Government's at 433. And wheat 970 to a billion bushels. Government's at 989. Funds yesterday, big buyers of beans, meal, corn, and wheat, sellers of a few oil. They continue to add to their long positions of beans, pretty even in the meal, still long a lot of oil, short a lot of corn, and short a lot of wheat. 6 to 10 day outlook calls for warm weather with probably normal rains. The 8 to 14 day suggests also warm weather with normal rains. So we're still watching the flip from El Nino to La Nina and see if that has any impact on U.S. summer weather and U.S. Crop yields. So grains are higher, a little bit of inflation news underneath the marketplace. China trade data better than expected, a little bit of weakness in the crude oil, and beans and corn and wheat are probably a little bit higher priced today than some people thought given the supply and demand. Yesterday I put out a special on options tutorial. My thought process is your long September corn calls if you're a farmer risking maybe a weather problem, and your long September soybean puts if market right now is overvalued. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.